This is a quick recap of our second ACP-620 study session. We started out with a concept called Role-Based Access Control, or RBAC. This is not unique to Atlassian, but it just means that permissions are bundled into roles. For example, instead of having to assign 15 different permissions to someone to make them an administrator, I just have a role called administrator. I take some time to define what that is, and then as new people need it, I just give them the role. This makes it easier to design them, but also makes them easier to manage, since instead of having to go through and remove Rob from 15 different permissions when he leaves the organization or changes what he does, I just remove him from that role. So now that we get that concept, we're going to pop into Jira real quick and I'll show you what it looks like. Popping into space settings, I'll see a number of roles that just exist. I have to go under people, and now I have a list of individuals in the space, but I can clearly see here which role they have. As a space admin, I can add roles to individuals by clicking Add People. I can then select who should get which role. I can also select groups, or I can remove this access. So this is how I, as a space admin, control access to the space. I cannot, however, modify what the role does. I'll have to work with my Jira admin. Now I can go into a permissions menu and see what roles have what permissions. This column here will show me where the permission applies, and this column here shows me what the permission is. For example, I can see the administrate projects permission is given to a space role called administrators and another one called add-ons. Space admins don't have to know all these permissions. However, we should know where to go to look them up. So when we go talk to a Jira admin to modify something, we can talk intelligently and have a good idea. The next thing we spoke about were schemes. Now, as a space admin, there's a number of things I can configure and a number of things I cannot. Anywhere I see the word scheme, that's a reminder that a Jira admin is needed. For example, we saw this with permissions. There's a permission scheme that helps someone out. There's also, though, a workflow scheme or a field scheme. These schemes are configurations that can be shared among spaces. Now, these show up in company-managed spaces. Team-managed spaces are slightly different. I'll talk about those in a moment. But my Jira admin controls these schemes. This allows them to have the same setup across different spaces. For example, if I have 5 software spaces, each one can have the same configuration because they all share the same scheme. Or different combinations of them could have different schemes. It makes it easier for my Jira admin to maintain everything. However, as a space admin, I cannot change them. So I'll have to work with that Jira admin to see if we can modify things. In a team-managed space, I as the admin can control all of those things. There is no workflow scheme, there's just the workflow that I can change. So keep that in mind. For the purpose of the ACP-620, we're mostly concerned with the schemes and the company-managed space. Jumping into Jira quickly, we can see schemes show up here under permissions. But also if we go open up work types and just click on types, we'll see other schemes. In this case, this scheme defines what work types are available in the space. I've got story, bug, etc. And I can also see additional information like which workflow scheme is connected to the work type, or which field configuration scheme or screen scheme. I can also see them broken out separately here on the left. For example, if I want to see what fields happen to be available, I can click in here. Again, as a space admin, I cannot change this, but I can come in here to look at it and understand what is available. So that is a quick recap of our second session. Again, most of the configuration that I cannot touch has the word scheme in it. That makes it easy, but also makes it frustrating because I want to go modify things. Best advice I can provide is go figure out who your Jira admin is, make sure they know who you are, and have a good working relationship with them. This will make it easier for you to approach them with ideas, but expect to have a discussion around it. They should not just blindly accept whatever you ask. Hope you found this useful. Our next session is coming up soon, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there.